Welcome back to the Afia Newsletter Audio Edition. I'm your host, Giovanni. Last month, I came across something that I've been thinking about, and I think that I have to share it with you guys. It's about food safety. But stay with me here because this is actually a story about knowledge that has been locked away for too long, that is finally reaching the people that need it the most. Picture this: Oyo State, Nigeria, last month, a room with over 60 people. But these aren't the usual conference crowd. These are farmers with soil still on the boots, traders, small producers running operations that feed entire neighborhoods, transporters moving food from farms to cities every single day. And they are all there learning about food safety. Not because someone forced them, but because someone finally explained it in a way that actually makes sense for their reality. This was organized by Food Safety for Africa, working with Radio ITA. And you know what surprised me? Their approach is so simple, yet it's something most programs completely miss. You see, most food safety programs focus on big guys, the companies with quality labs, compliance officers. And look, that's important for sure. But in Nigeria, like across most of Africa, the majority of food moves through internal channels. Small players, the backbone of the system. And Food Safety for Africa said, you know what? If we are serious about food safety actually working, we need to train everyone in the chain, not just the top 5%, everyone who touches the food. So today, I'm breaking down three big main ideas from this month's edition. First, why training the whole chain actually works. Second, how technology is finally solving real problems of African farmers. There is some AI magic in there. And third, what is happening with trade barriers across the continent. Let's dive in. Big idea number one, training the whole chain. So, back to the training in Nigeria, Food Safety for Africa isn't trying to turn farmers into food scientists. They are not dumping regulations on people. We are building a knowledge platform. Right now, it has 285 members and is growing fast. And here's what makes it different. The materials are designed for people without PhDs. They work with local governments. They use radios to reach rural producers. They create tools that actually make sense for someone running a small palm oil operation or a cooperative drying mangoes. The chairman of Akinyele local government said something that really stuck with me. He said, I quote, ensuring food safety is crucial, not just for preventing foodborne diseases, but also for strengthening the agricultural economy and consumer confidence. And that's the insight most people miss. Food safety isn't just about not making people sick. It's about opening markets. Think about it this way. When your product is consistently safe, buyers trust you. When buyers trust you, they pay more and they come back. It's business, not just compliance. Let me give you a concrete example. You are a cooperative processing dried mangoes in Cote d'Ivoire, for example. Right now, maybe you sell locally, but if you can demonstrate consistent safety, document it, prove it, suddenly export markets open up. Other African buyers, European buyers, Middle Eastern buyers, but they need to trust that the product arriving is safe every single time. And you can't build that trust by just certifying the big processing plants and hoping the small producers figure it out. You build it by training everyone, the farmers who grow the mangoes, the person who transport them, the cooperative that process them, the whole supply chain. Food Safety for Africa gets it. They're not working with just factories. They are in the markets, on the radio, in community halls. No, in community halls, meeting people where they are. Here is what is interesting. They now have this whole platform of knowledge that's accessible, training materials, best practices, real examples from African context, not imported foreign models that don't fit our reality. So the takeaway from this first big idea is, if we are serious about African food reaching export markets, we can't just certify the top 5% and hope for the best. Training the whole value chain is how you build a food safety culture that actually works. That's what Nigeria is proving right now. All right, then, let's move to the next big idea. Big idea number two, tech solving real problem. Now I want to talk about technology, but not the kind of tech that gets hyped in Silicon Valley and then doesn't work here. I'm talking about African innovators building solutions for African problems. Let me tell you about DairySense in Kenya. This is one of the most exciting things I've seen in African agri-tech. Here's a problem they're solving. You are a smallholder dairy farmer in Kenya. Every morning, you milk your cows, transport the milk to a collection center, and hope you get a fair price. But here's the thing, you have no idea if the milk is good quality until someone at the center tests it. And testing usually means someone looking at it, maybe smelling it, and making judgment call. If your milk fails, you just lost hours of work and a day's income. If it passes but was actually contaminated, someone that's downstream pays the price, and eventually buyers stop trusting the whole supply chain. This is the milk quality paradox. Everyone knows quality matters, but at the farm level, nobody has a reliable way to measure it before it leaves the farm. Enter DairySense now. They built portable devices that test milk quality instantly at collection points. The device combines smart sensors with AI-driven analytics. A farmer brings milk, the device tests it in seconds, and boom, you know exactly what quality you're dealing with. Not this milk looks okay. Actual measurements like fat content, protein levels, adulterants, bacterial indicators, numbers don't lie. And here's the beautiful part. Farmers get paid based on actual quality, not someone's mood. Better milk equals better price. Simple math. But this isn't just about dairy. This is proof that IoT and AI can solve real African agricultural problems when they are built by people who understand those problems. Think about it. The same model works for coffee. Test for moisture content and defects right at the collection point. For cacao, measure fermentation quality before mixing batches. For grains, check for aflatoxin contamination in the farm level. For fruits, assess ripeness and sugar content for optimal harvest timing. This pattern is always the same, bringing testing to the source instead of centralizing it in expensive labs that small producers can't access. Now let's be honest about what this doesn't solve. It doesn't fix poor farm practices, though it does reveal them. It doesn't replace the need for proper cold chain. Quality testing plus good handling equals success, and it requires that collection centers actually pay differently for different quality levels. We are still working on it. But even with these limitations, this is a massive step forward. And here's what DairySense represents. African innovators building solutions for African contexts, not importing Western technology and hoping it fits. Building from the ground up with rural connectivity, power constraint, literacy level, and payment system in mind. The future of African agriculture isn't just about producing more. It's about producing probably better and having the data to back it up. All right, third big idea. And this one is about what is happening at the continental level with trade. In Cairo last month, African food safety regulators held their second meeting. Officials discussing regulatory cooperation, modernizing food safety system, supporting the African Continental Free Trade Area. Now, usually when I hear about these meetings, I think, okay, officials talking again. But here's what is different. There is actually implementation happening. The Agri-Food Trade Action Plan was just endorsed in January, and it's not theoretical. It identifies specific value chains, cotton, cashew, where Africa has competitive advantages, and it details exactly what regulatory reforms are needed. The result? The Guide Trade initiative started with 7 countries trading a pilot list of products. It's now expanded to 39 countries. Do you imagine? Products like tea, coffee, dried fruits, pasta, processed meat are across Africa borders more easily than before, right? Intra-African trade grew 3.2% in 2023, hitting wait for it, $192 billion of dollars. That's billion with a big B. Nearly 200 billions. Okay? Here's why this matters. If every African country has different standards for, say, cassava flour, then a Ghanaian producer needs 54 different certifications to sell across Africa. Do you imagine that? That's impossible for small and medium enterprises. The ISO-ARSO Kigali Agreement signed in October is tackling this. It's creating a one standard, one market approach, aligning African standards with international ones while accounting for African context. In simple English, the meetings in Cairo aren't just talk. We are laying groundwork for African food producers to actually trade across the continent without jumping through 50 different regulatory hoops. And the Secretary General, Wamkele Mene, said it clearly. This revised Agri-Food Trade Action Plan is not an abstract framework, but a practical tool designed to connect Africa's production potential with Africa's markets. Watch this space. When regulatory barriers drop, African food business win. Practical takeaway section. Okay, so we've covered up 3 big ideas, showing the whole chain works, technology can solve real problems when built by people who understand them, and trade barriers are actually falling across the continent. But what does this mean for you? What can you actually do with this information? If you're a producer, start thinking about how objective quality data could help your business. Can you demonstrate quality to buyers with numbers instead of just words or tasting? If you are running a cooperative or collection center, technologies like what we talked about aren't just nice to haves. They are competitive advantages. First movers build trust and attract quality conscious buyers. And if you are thinking about export markets, this is what buyers want. Traceability and verified quality from source to destination. The tools to make that possible are here now. Resources section. Before we wrap up, a couple of resources for you. We created a practical guide showing African small and medium enterprises exactly how to implement a basic food safety management system. No expensive consultants required. It's bilingual, English and French, with simple templates you can use tomorrow. You will find the download link in the show notes. We also built a pesticide compliance checker. It's a prototype right now. You select your crop, enter the pesticide you are using, choose your target market, and get instant compliance results. It will tell you if you are good to export or if you need to switch to a compliant alternative. That link is also in the show notes. And all the articles I referenced today, the stories about food safety for Africa, the recent, the updates, they are all linked in the newsletter. Check those out if you want to dive deeper. So that's it for this edition. 3 big ideas. Training everyone in the chain actually works. Technology built by Africans for African problems is changing the game. And trade barriers are falling faster than most people realize. The question isn't whether African food can compete globally anymore. It's how fast we can scale the solutions that are already working. Thanks for listening. I'm Giovanni. I will catch you in the next edition. Cheers.